So the Chicago Bears just opened up a competition at a position that, frankly, I'm surprised by this. I thought it was settled, and it looks like the Bears have huge plans for newly drafted Ozzy Trapilo. Way more aggressive than originally thought. And let me know in the comments, who do you think is going to be the starting left tackle for this team once camp is over, once the smoke clears, once things are put in line for the regular season? Leave it in the comments and we'll chop that up. So if we look back at during the draft, right, we're all looking at this situation. Dahlman, we've got him. He's going to hold it down at center. Jonah and Tuni at guard. All good. And then there wasn't a tackle drafted in the first round, right? The Bears must be fully invested in Braxton Jones as the left tackle now and possibly in the future. You've got Darnold right at right tackle. So good. Braxton Jones is going to hold down the left side. And then you have the drafting of Trapilo. So what do we have in the second round? I was thinking we've got a guard of the future possibly, or even a swing tackle, someone that's going to compete at left tackle possibly in 2026. Really long-sighted draft pick. It's a pick for the future. And then when he's drafted, we realize that he spent most of his time at right tackle. So what does that tell us? Is he going to be a swing tackle? Just narratives all over the place. And then you start hearing rumors about Darnell Wright moving to the left side. What is up with that? So thankfully, GM Ryan Poles, he just made some things crystal clear on ESPN 1000. And the guy was straight up asked about all these things. Moving Darnell to the left side, specifically on rookie Ozzy Trapilo and how he's going to start off on this team. So this is directly from Poles. That's a conversation we've been having with our coaching staff. I think we want to see what we have in the young rookie with Ozzy in terms of what that looks like at left tackle. We still want to see Braxton returning from his injury as well as Karan. So there's a lot of options, which to me is a huge benefit and a huge improvement for our O-line that you have these options. That's really valuable. So I think this is telling us a few things here. First, this left tackle spot, I think it's wide open now. And it's a possible nod to the fact as well that Braxton, he might not be fully recovered in time for camp for just that nasty ankle injury. You can rewatch it if you want. I'm not going to. Just a nasty injury. And then also it might tell us that Amagaje, he isn't the obvious, like the automatic replacement if Braxton isn't ready. Ozzy, I think he's going to have every opportunity to win the starting job at left tackle. And once that's decided, the Bears are going to move straight forward. They're not going to mess around. And this is a little more from Ryan Poles. One thing that we came away from our recent conversation is whatever we settle on, especially when we're going into training camp, it's going to be really important to stick with that and be as consistent as possible. Now, sticking with that, being as consistent as possible, what if Braxton isn't ready for camp? He's talking about whatever is settled on going into training camp. It's going to be really important to stick with that and be as consistent as possible. What if Braxton isn't ready and Ozzy takes over the job? I mean, this is very possible. Now, this is a little more from Poles. Now, things can come up that change that, but our mindset is wherever we end up settling going into training camp, we'd like for it to be as stable as possible. Open competition is what it sounds like to me. And more on this in a moment, but word around the league as well is that Ozzy, he's the likeliest to start as a rookie this season outside of the first round in this whole draft. And his player comp is super encouraging as well. More on that in a second, but the thing about him starting immediately for the Bears at left tackle, it isn't without precedence, right? The front office is looking to kick him out left to start out. It doesn't matter that he's a rookie because we look back in 2022. I think you know the player I'm going to talk about. The Bears just plopped rookie day 3 pick Braxton Jones at left tackle and then watched him play into becoming a 3-year starter at the position from the start. I wouldn't mind seeing history repeat itself here is what I'm saying. And it doesn't really hurt to try, right? Now let's look at if Braxton Jones can immediately start as a 5th rounder. Why can't Trapilo as a 2nd rounder? I think this conversation by Poles, I think it's a big-time telegraph that there's a ton of worry in the Chicago Bears front office that Braxton is going to be ready in time for camp. I think they're not sure. I think they're getting a little nervous. Let's hope his recovery continues to go as expected. Word is, every single report is that it is going as expected. It's just a matter of if that expectation is to be ready for camp. So, and then also, there's a pretty common theme with some of the players that make up this draft class that Chicago just brought into town. They all want to play with violence, and they all seem to have an edge. And I think Ozzy is no different. And we're looking at that mindset on both offense and defense. And I think Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen have really set the tone really well in that way and how they're going to build this team in the first year that they're coaching at Hallis Hall. And then Trapilo, he was spoken to specifically of what's expected of him. And I really like what he had to say so far. He just seems to just get it. He was asked about what his playing style needs to bring to the table. So a couple things about this guy. He knows that he's going to have to play violently. He also knows that it's going to have to be done in an intelligent manner. This can't be the water boy, right? And I think that mindset is going to bode really well for him. And also, I think he's going to be able to work with new offensive line coach Dan Rouchar really well to bring out his best traits. We finally have elite coaching here. So we got to just get this right, and let's hear directly from Ozzy. Coming into a new program, my main goal is to get on the field as soon as possible. I play hard and I play tough, but I also play smart and under control. I don't let emotions get the best of me. I try to stay in the moment at all times and stay focused and stay disciplined. The best offensive linemen play with violence, but they also keep it under control. So, I think the Bears have done a really good job on this offensive line. The fact that Ozzy might start from the get-go, I don't think that's mismanagement. It actually might be a really good thing, and we need it to be a really good thing because, once again, I hate sharing this stat, but we did give up a league-high 68 sacks last year. So, immediately proactive this year. 2 trades right away. Joe Tuni, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman is signed. Once again, we took the best player on the market available, and now we've drafted Ozzy. And also we drafted 6th round guard Luke Newman out of Michigan State. I think it's a really nice draft. And on top of this, there's even some more good news because I think a Joe Tuni extension is in the immediate plan as well. It's not only going to give us some short-term cap health, right? Some cap room in the short term once an extension is signed, but it's also going to give us some longer-term security. Man, I just can't talk right now. Sorry about that. So I think this also shows the pattern that the Bears have shown. They're not like the Cincinnati Bengals. They're not waiting until players need to be signed, that they're going to get competition from other teams or becoming free agents. The Bears have shown if they're really serious about a player, they're not afraid to get an extension done ahead of time. So what happens if they get an extension done ahead of time with these players? And they've shown the pattern of doing this over and over and over. They make a solid decision. They get the extension done instead of being forced into a contract. And then so many times the players love that. Look, I still have time left on my contract. You're willing to give me more security. You're willing to allow me to keep my family here so we don't have to move again. Players just love that. And they take the security and many times give the Bears a team-friendly deal, which is good. It's a win-win, right? So I think we're going to see this happen with Tuni. Just be a little patient. And when asked about it, GM Ryan Poles, he had this to say. I'd hope it's not too long. As I said the other day, the extension with Joe is a priority. I have a great relationship with Tuni as well as Mike McCartney, his agent. We'll have conversations. We'll see what makes sense for both sides. I love Joe. I love what he brings. I know he's excited to be here. So we'll see if we can work something out in the near future. So, there's a lot to like about the news today. I think one thing that that we really should cover, I want to cover really quick what some experts were saying about Ozzy coming into the draft. And this is just a really good profile. And it kind of goes to show what the word was on him coming into the draft, because frankly, you didn't hear much about him during the telecast, the broadcast, or even as people were mock drafting players to the Bears. Trapilo wasn't really a highly lauded player. So let's see what this guy in this story has to say. He actually called Trapilo one of his guys. And this is just really, I mean, look at this story in its entirety. I'm going to go straight to it. This is Brandon Thorne. He does a lot of work on the front end before the draft. He's a really respected voice. And I just really want to see what he had to say about Trapilo. Let's see if I can find him here. There's Booker. There's Ratledge. Okay, here he is. Here's Ozzy. So let's kind of talk through him a little bit. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. So we're looking at the guy's huge, right? 6'8", 316 pounds, 36 career starts, and actually split across right tackle, 24, left tackle, 10, left guard, and right guard. He's got a lot of experience. He's a little older. He's going to turn 24 years old in October. And there's a lot to like about him. His strengths, his use of hands, his play strength, his play speed. Reason for concern, though, his redirection skills and lateral quickness. I mean, he's not going to be a perfect prospect. But let's kind of look at what he calls the sales pitch. And I'm just going to read from this. This really is worth our time. He has a polished, well-rounded skill set at right tackle with good play strength, a firm understanding of leverages. This puts him in proper positions at the right time to consistently execute assignments, bolster his play speed, and mitigate closer to average athletic ability. His projection in the NFL, it's reminiscent of Kurt Rams right tackle Rob Havenstein. That's absolutely fantastic. He's been a solid pro, and Havenstein came out of Wisconsin in 2015. So I just kind of wanted to share that a little bit, just to give you a voice outside of Hallis Hall, kind of letting you know what the thought was on Trapilo coming out of the draft. And yeah, I think it's a really good pick. I would love to see him actually be the starter at left tackle if that's how it shakes out. It looks like he has the ability, he has the size. And man, that would be a huge boon to the Bears. But also, let's hope that Braxton Jones can be healthy and just continue out the last year of his rookie contract, because the ideal is that Karan and Ozzy compete for this position at left tackle and actually win it, so we don't have to pay Braxton Jones. I highly respect Braxton Jones, though. He has balled out for this team, and especially as a fifth-round draft pick. It's really impressive. You guys let me know in the comments as usual. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Would love having you as a part of this community. And we'll talk soon. Bear down.